the UK, again, taking a similar approach to what we're going to be doing here in Australia, which is to target platforms like X, formerly Twitter, with massive fines if they don't censor users. So these
And
platforms are either going to face financial ruin, or they're going to have to censor people who are supposed to be living in a free country.
absolutely. And, we've already seen where this leads. Do you remember after three jihadists went across London Bridge in 2017, slashing at women's throats and shouting Allahu Akbar? The then British Prime Minister, Theresa May, gathered with all the great and the good, the Mayor of London and everyone else important, and talked about how we have to crack down on online content. It had nothing to do with online content. Look at the knife killer Axel Rubicana, who killed those three poor young girls in Southport last summer. Some of the media said things like he was the Amazon killer because he'd ordered the knife from Amazon. I mean, this is what they're going to keep doing. They're going to keep blaming social media companies and online things because they can't deal with the real world. They can't deal with the real world problems, and they should.
They should. Now, let's stay in the UK, and there appears to be a massive flaw in Keir Starmer's plans to tackle illegal immigration. The Sun reports illegal immigrants could dodge deportation under Labor's one-in, one-out swap deal with France by simply lodging human rights appeals. Douglas, the plan, which started yesterday, includes a clause where anyone making a human rights claim cannot be sent back until their case is heard in the courts. And as we know, that can take some time.
It'll just never happen, Rita. I'm willing to take a bet for any sum of money right now. It's just not going to happen. Keir Starmer, his Attorney General, Lord Hermer, all these people are baked in this industry, this heavily taxpayer-supported industry, whereby somebody breaks into the country illegally and then gets all the legal representation they need to cook up some bogus reason for why they're in the UK and why they've broken in. And there is such a backlog now in the UK, as in most other European countries. There's such a backlog that you could have all-night courts, of the kind that were able to be put in place after the Southport riots, of course. But you could have all-night courts running for years, and you would still not sort out the backlog of the people who are already illegally in Britain. So the idea they're ever going to address with this scheme and this one-in, one-out fatuousness, the idea they're ever going to address this is for the birds. They are simply trying to placate the very significant and growing public concern about this. Because at some point you've got to ask, most British taxpayers couldn't afford to live in a hotel at their own expense night after night. So why are they paying for people who've broken into the country to live in those hotels night after night? Why are we running up billions of dollars a year in housing people who've broken all the rules? I mean, at some point, something has to give. But I suppose Starmer and Hermer and co. just hope it won't happen on their watch.
It is an absurd situation where you've got a significant percentage of the British public who are living in what we're called is energy poverty. They don't have enough money to effectively heat their homes in winter, cool them in summer. And yet you've got people breaking into the country, enjoying a standard of living that a lot of Brits could only dream of in four-star hotels. Now, this is an interesting revelation in the Times from a police commissioner, Donna Jones, who says a government minister, she doesn't name which minister, pressured her over a statement she made suggesting mass uncontrolled immigration was a factor behind last summer's riots. The minister told her, no, you're wrong. The riots had nothing whatsoever to do with immigration.
They just won't admit it, will they? They'll never, ever admit it, because if they were to admit it, they'd have to take responsibility. And that's the last thing that these politicians want to do. They never want to take responsibility. They push everything under the rug. They will point to anything other than the causes of the problem. Yes, there is significant and growing dissent in the UK, as in so many other countries, about the feeling that taxpayers have that they're basically being taken advantage of, that they are having the mickey taken out of them by rule breakers, having all these advantages and all these disadvantages accruing to the people who are already here. And it's just so obvious. It's happened in recent weeks with the protests in Epping. Now we have the situation where the illegal migrants who are being housed in the so-called migrant hotel in Epping were moved. They were moved to a place called Canary Wharf, a very rich area of London's financial district. And they were moved there. And first of all, the police and the authorities said to people, don't speculate on where they're going. There's no evidence that they're going to this hotel. Lo and behold, they were going to that hotel in Canary Wharf. What was the reaction? Some locals then protested there as well. And then the police issued an order saying you can't protest there. So what are people meant to do? I mean, what are they meant to do if they don't like this? We're ignored. We are told that what we see with our eyes is not true. We're told that stories that happen every single day have not happened. And the crackdown always, again, is not on the illegal migrants. It's not on the rule breakers. The crackdown is always on the law-abiding citizens who start to feel they've had enough.
Absolutely. Now, let's go to the US. You wrote a fantastic piece for the New York Post on the Russian collusion hoax, the manufactured scandal, the Democrats and the media push for around 4 years to undermine Trump's first term. You're arguing, Douglas, that there needs to be a reckoning of sorts. Those in the intelligence community, for example, who knowingly worked on promoting these lies, you argue should be exposed.
Absolutely. I mean, at the very least, there needs to be a commission of inquiry, a committee of inquiry in the House or elsewhere in Washington, looking into exactly what it was that happened before and during Donald Trump's first term as president. You remember, Rita, we had in America 4 years of very senior people in the intelligence world, in the political world, the Democratic Party, insisting that Vladimir Putin had stolen the election in 2016, that there was Russian collusion. They always said for 4 years, all these liberal, so-called liberal left-wing late-night talk show hosts like Rachel Maddow, all these people like Schiff, Adam Schiff, they went around saying, we've got the evidence and we've got the smoking gun and we're going to deliver it tomorrow. And if it's not tomorrow, it'll be the day after tomorrow or maybe a week Tuesday. And the evidence was never provided because there was none. And for 4 years, these people tried to subvert the presidency. They delegitimized the ballot in 2016. They delegitimized the idea that the ballot was safe and secure. Now, in 2020, when Donald Trump was accused of saying that the ballot was not secure and so on and much more, and then we had January the 6th, there was a committee of inquiry. It went on for months. Why is there no such committee like the January 6th committee about the 2016 to 2020 Russia hoax? This involved very senior people, and some of them will still be there. And I think it is absolutely crucial that this wound should be closed by finding out what went on, who it was who pushed it, and why it is they got away with it.
I think there has to be not just complete transparency now, but some consequences just to restore trust in the whole process, and also to prevent this from happening again. There's got to be some disincentive other than being named and shamed, because this was such a shameful period, and the media's complicity in it, as you explained, was notable. Before you go, I want to show you this New York Post front page today. It's one for the ages. AfricanAmerican meets Native American. They're calling it a Liars Summit. I played some footage of this yesterday of Elizabeth Warren, not just cozying up to radicals or Mamdani, but really saying the Democrats need to follow his lead, that he's somehow got the formula for success. And Douglas, it's hard to deny his brand of politics is becoming very much normalised in the Democrats, and they may look at what's happening in New York and think they can replicate that elsewhere.
Oh, absolutely. This is a huge test for the Democratic Party, the Mamdani issue. That front page, for anyone who doesn't get the joke, and it's a very good one, is that, of course, Mamdani, when he was applying to university, among other things, some years ago, said that he was an African American. He wasn't actually an American at the time,
Yes.
let alone an African American. And of course, Elizabeth Warren, Senator Pocahontas, had claimed throughout her career to be a Native American, and she turned out not to be at all, to absolutely nobody's surprise, except perhaps her own, because she'd pushed this lie for so long. Yeah, these are two fakes and frauds meeting up and finding common ground. But Mamdani's a great test for the Democratic Party. It's not surprising that Elizabeth Warren has cozied up to him. She'll get onto anything that she thinks is new, glitzy, and radical. But it's going to be a big test for more senior figures in the party. Are we going to find out whether Chuck Schumer has any moral standards? Will it turn out that other senior Democrats have any basic principles? Or will they just run along with this radical left socialist and all of the toxic politics that he brings with him? Will they think that that's the future? If they do, I have to say it's rather hard to see how there's any very good future for the Democratic Party when they next go to the national polls.
Douglas Murray, thank you so much for your time tonight.
Great pleasure as always.